Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the 107 podcast with myself, Jacob, and my co-host, Ash. We arrive hot with hot news that Formula One has signed a new deal. Would you like to guess who it's with, Ash?
I don't need to guess.
Oh, don't you?
Yeah. Is it with Louis Vuitton?
No. Bigger than like Tag Heuer and Louis Vuitton.
Is it Hot Wheels?
It is Hot Wheels. I'm much more excited for that partnership than some stupid luxury brand. Give me some Hot Wheels. Can you imagine setting up like the entire grid with little Hot Wheels? That'd be amazing. I think they've only released like the bog standard white liveried F1 Hot Wheels, which is kind of cool, but I want proper Hot Wheels. I want classic cars like from the 80s and the 90s, early 2000s. Like I want the cool stuff. So yeah, I'm more excited for that than, oh, look, the timing is now done by Tag Heuer.
I like that. It feels like classic F1 with Tag.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but at the same time, like I'm more excited about Hot Wheels. Yes, so that is the big news from today. Nothing else has happened. Oh no, we have loads of stuff to talk about. First of all, and well, there's a few bits to talk about. Shall we start? We've started off with the Hot Wheels news. That's very positive. We briefly mentioned the new tag deal and stuff like that. So that's also a bit more positive news, but closely linked. Should we do a bit of a shit sandwich and mention some not so good news?
If you want. Do you just want it to go uphill, the podcast?
Arguably, yes. Even though, let's be honest, 110 episodes in, it's just going further downhill, let's be honest. We haven't reached rock bottom yet, but give us some time. The rookie race that was supposed to happen in Abu Dhabi is not happening this year.
I know, you seem very disappointed.
It's bullshit. I was really looking forward to it. I was genuinely really looking forward to it. It would have been very, very cool. It's a bit of a shame that it wasn't pulled off this year, but
what did they give? Was it logistical reasons?
I don't know. I don't care. Whatever reason it is, don't care. Not interested. Excuse is all I'm hearing. Not good enough, I'm afraid. FOM, you bastards. And there goes our FOM sponsorship. But yeah, a bit disappointing because I was really looking forward to it. I know quite a few other people were, but they haven't completely cancelled it. They've just said it's not happening this year. So that's a little bit of a cheeky update on that.
Maybe one of the considerations was they could crash the car.
Don't care.
Cost cap. Sorry, the world doesn't revolve around you, Jacob.
No, that's not my point.
Maybe for next year, because they're moving into 2026 and new cars, they're like, it's okay.
Okay, well then race last year's chassis then.
Yeah, they're not made of money.
Well, I mean, some teams are, unlike Force India. See what I've done there? Segue right into
Otmar's made of money.
Otmar is minted. My God. Before we start, right, how much is Otmar's net worth? Don't Google it. Have a guess how much his net worth is. I'm going to go $8 million.
No, I'll probably get something like 60 or 70.
I have literally no idea. I could be way off.
I was like, do you reckon he paid the salary for Sergio Perez?
I was wondering this actually. Hold on, net worth. He was born the day before me. He was born August 13th. I mean, that's a GDPR breach if I've ever heard one, but there we go. 2024, a net worth of approximately $5 million in April 2024. I was right.
So how the hell can he pay salaries of millions of pounds?
Oh God! Although to be fair, one other thing.
Wait, hold on. What website have you got up?
So I just found Subzin, which is now saying 12.5 million. Okay. But I've also then just seen another one, which is Sports Brief, which says 5 million.
All right, close it down.
Okay.
I've got some team principles and net worths here.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Do you want to have a little guess?
Is it Planet F1's report?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I don't know how accurate this is.
None of this is ever accurate. It's insane. But go on.
All right. Mike Crack. How much do you think Mike Crack is worth?
$3 million.
800K.
Okay, sure.
Right, not real.
That just-
I don't know
that
if
not
it's
real?
salary or net worth. There you
I
go.
don't
it's net
know.
worth.
No idea.
All right. Andrea Stella. So this is 2023.
Okay, 2 million. I don't know.
1.2.
Oh, okay, great.
Fred.
4. A cool 4.
2.5.
Is this just going up? So now, okay.
It's
So
going
I've
up.
worked out the pattern here. Go on.
I don't know who this guy is, so we're just going to skip him. Gunther.
How he can't be worth much. Like literally, like 2.5.
4.1.
How?
James Vowles?
Oh, he's got Tory money. 7.5.
They say he's 4.1 as well.
Oh, okay.
So is France. This is boring. We did Otmar. Yeah, when you got 4.1 for one of them, you don't know. How much do you reckon Christian Horner's worth?
32.
Oh, 41.
Oh, that's nowhere near.
Also, by the way, they've just gone like 4.1, 4.1, 4.1, 41.
Jesus. Right. Okay.
Okay, how much do you reckon Toto's worth?
Oh,
This
that's
is
like,
interesting.
isn't he technically a billionaire now? But in 2023, I don't know if it would have been. So I'm going to go like 750 million.
No, they got him down as $1 billion.
Oh, okay. Well, then it might be slightly updated, but I think he's worth more than $1 billion now.
Yeah, because he's got shares, isn't he, in Mercedes?
Yeah.
Aston Martin.
He owns 33% of Mercedes. I don't know how much he owns of Aston Martin. If he owns any of Aston, I don't know what the deal is.
It
now,
says
so.
1% in 2020.
Odd, but sure.
So maybe it's gone up. And also he owns 33% of their Formula One team, not of Mercedes itself.
Yeah. The Mercedes F1 team. Yeah.
That I'd just give myself a pay rise. Oh,
okay. Anyway,
not accurate at all. But all right.
Otmar.
Otmar.
He recently went on a podcast. They're a competitor.
No, you can say it.
Why promote the competitor? So they went on the High Performance podcast with Jake Humphreys and some bloke whose name I genuinely can't remember. He's a psychologist. But so he's gone on a High Performance, and I'm sure those of you who are clued in have probably seen some reels and stuff like that, which launched before the actual episode went live, whereby Otmar was talking about like some key topics, including Oscar Piastri's signing or non-signing to Alpine, and also paying the wages of all of the Force India team twice, which is ridiculous. He didn't pay all of it himself. He brought in a friend and a business partner that he knows very well and trusted him that he would pay money back. But he sort of inadvertently slammed Alpine. Like, he didn't set out with the intention, I don't think, in this interview. I think at the end of it, Jake Humphrey sort of did say, like, you could tell he was still angry. It was still very raw. But I understand his pain. Don't you know?
Everything from, like, obviously hearing from his point of view that it was a bit of a shit show.
Yeah.
And they basically used him as a scapegoat for a lot of things.
Yeah. It made
poor performance, it's you. Oscar Piastri, it was you.
It made him look incompetent. And I don't think that the spinning that Drive to Survive did made him or improved that image, to be completely honest. I think immediately, first thing he said was, when I took over the job, I was told everyone would report into me. Then I found out HR don't report into me, marketing don't report into me, and listed off like over 60, 70% of the team who did not report directly into him, which is already an odd dynamic, and he's been lied to already, day one. That's not good at all. So it really isn't good at all, the situation that he went through. I've written down some notes from the interview. I can't read them because my handwriting's that bad.
Wow.
What's it? No.
Wow.
No.
I wrote down some notes. I
no
can't
full
read
control. I couldn't realize. I didn't know what the second word was. I've written it with an odd pen. But yeah, so he had no full control of the team, which he didn't know before starting. Can you imagine walking into a place where you're sold the dream? Maybe not the dream working for Alpine, but I'm just going to kick them while they're down. But then essentially having to perform at such a high level to essentially perform miracles from, like I said, the rest of the interview, it's definitely given me a different perspective on him. But like, how difficult must that be to have tried to do what he did with Alpine?
It's tough being like the leader of a company. It's even tougher when half of it doesn't report into you, so you're already going to have clashes with what one part's doing.
Yeah,
the leadership are not behind you. You're kind of fighting with one hand behind your back.
Yeah,
and we all know like how ruthless Formula One is. You're not Daniel Ricciardo. You're not performing. You're out. Simple as that.
Yeah,
simple as that.
Everything is on the line. It is a cutthroat business. And to be framed as the fall guy for a couple of different things as well is not good. He spoke about that a little bit and explained that essentially a lot of people that were internal within Renault who had power that sort of overlapped or had power over the Alpine F1 team made some decisions which obviously would help further their careers and stuff like that. They aren't bothered about going faster on track. They're bothered about moving further up the career ladder, which I would argue from if you're a Renault employee, you're in marketing or whatever, and you really want that promotion, you don't really care about Formula One, I can see why people would do it. But at the end of the day, the decisions and the bits and pieces that happen is just not okay whatsoever in the way that it happened. I can see from a selfish perspective why somebody would try and deflect and blame somebody else and make somebody else a fall guy, especially when that person is already painted as not doing the best job as well. I can see why that would have happened. It's not right at all, but I can see why it happened.
I don't know, it seemed like a very toxic environment. Yeah. Even like when he left, it was like Bruno Famin, but then was it Laurent Rossi was also there?
I think so, yeah.
And also the team principal before him, was it Marius something?
I can't, right? Genuinely
he left as well.
Yeah.
So...
But it's like we also, do you not remember we had reports randomly of people being like, oh yeah, like the French part of Alpine stay in some hotels and the English part stay in other hotels, and like they just don't interact, and like the culture there very clearly wasn't ideal or wasn't where it was meant to be, or maybe didn't match other F1 teams, which like the interview lines up with what we'd also heard from other people. Which is really not good. Like, for example, firing people who had been there for years and just let them go. Not good at all. Alpine's a bit of a hot mess at the moment. I mean,
slowly turning around.
Yeah, well, yes and no. I think you can see, obviously, when Otmar left compared to now, they're not doing as well in the championship, especially that really bad start to the year too. I think you can tell, obviously, that, like, I'm not saying that Otmar was the sole reason that, they were doing so well or whatever, but you can very clearly tell things slipped when he left.
I'm just looking at Alpine's careers page, and they've got their values here.
Oh,
one of their values is care for each other.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah. I mean, it's like that with a lot of like HR, slash career-y stuff. It's like, oh, we always care for each other. We always look out for each other. We value our employees, et cetera, et cetera. And half the time it's just complete rubbish. But there we
care
go.
For each other, but we'll stay in different hotels.
Oh, yeah. We'll care for each other provided you're from the same country. Which is not the right thing to do. But so two of the things... What are you laughing at now?
I'm laughing at the pictures that they have here.
Oh, God.
The first of all,
it's...
Okay, they can keep it. Two of the pictures are of Esteban Ocon when he won.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you can keep that, yeah.
Right? He still races for them.
Yeah.
One of them is from Fernando Alonso.
Oh,
he doesn't race for them. It's when he was hugging Esteban Ocon at the Hungary Grand Prix, for each other.
Perfect, yeah.
I was like, he doesn't race for you anymore.
He also didn't care. He left you. But But so some of the other things that came out of the interview were like we mentioned briefly, he was like the fall guy for the Oscar Piastri non-signing thing, and he explained that he had nothing to do with that, which does line up with what was said around about the same time as well. But he did say something very interesting in terms of, although the deal wasn't signed when it should have been signed, there were clauses in there that meant that Oscar Piastri got X, Y, and Z, and all of those things were actually given to Oscar, or a lot of them were, which I wasn't fully aware about, and that links back to his comments around Zach Brown and like how he said, like, you know, he'd be ashamed of the deal and stuff like that. So what do you think about that side of stuff? Like, do you think nothing was signed, so whatever, or in the spirit of Oscar's taken a lot from the deal but hasn't signed? What's your perspective on that?
That's a bit sucky, right? Contract works both ways. If
True.
If the contract was in breach and he didn't have to sign for Alpine, then again, like, we don't know the ins and outs, then you shouldn't get the stuff from the contract unless specifically by this date you have to do it if I sign.
True. But at the same time, then that's down to Alpine to say, hey, we can't provide this because you haven't signed the contract. If you sign the contract, we're ready to go. Everyone's at the track, ready to give you your 5,000 kilometers in a car, whatever. We're ready to go. Like, we're just waiting for the signed contract. So again, Alpine, bit of a mess. But at the same time, I'm very glad that Oscar is not driving for Alpine right now. That is brilliant.
Oscar's definitely happy about that.
I also believe probably Otmar sat there going, thank God he's not driving for Alpine. There's a little bit of like a fuck you type thing. Like, I can imagine that being like, he might not ever say it, but like in the back of his mind, he's like, yeah, all right, yeah.
I think it's also one of the things, you know, when like you leave a company that goes downhill.
Yeah.
He's just looking at it and he's like,
no, yeah.
Oh no, this is happening and this is happening. This is happening. Oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah, not good at all. And then, like we said, the other thing was about him paying the wages for the Force India staff. Now, we knew obviously that Force India had no money. They just had no money. But they continued to compete, which they did. They were competitive their entire time that they were branded as Force India. And so it's given, like, maybe if you didn't have as much respect for Otmar, you should go and listen to the interview and listen to what he tried to do within the organization, because I think it would give you a bit more respect for him. I personally, I know I haven't been as respectful as I may have should have been about his performance, because he has been portrayed as a blundering idiot at points. He has.
Yeah.
And it's definitely given me a little bit more respect for him, for sure. And typically these super successful people don't get there by accident, you know, or, you know, their dad buys a team, but they don't get there by accident.
How is Lance Stroll catching strays in this?
Call me Bianca Bustamante. But so with that, I think like the interview definitely did give me a lot more respect for him. But can you imagine being in that garage, in that team for Force India at that point when like they had like nothing? They literally had nothing. Must have been such a weird setup to be part of, right? Like,
well, considering Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsports, it's super rich, and like you said, all these wealthy sponsors and the glamour, and you've got a team there that has no money.
Yeah,
no money. Like, the dichotomy is astounding.
I mean, we're seeing it at the moment a little bit with like Haas as well, or maybe not this year, but like 2-3 years ago when they were under Mazepin sponsorship ownership. I think they very clearly were struggling for cash, especially when they got rid of him as well. And I think you can see that as well when you look at their performance too. And the fact that, like I said, Force India were doing arguably a better job than Haas are currently doing in comparison with even less money is just a complete joke. Utter joke.
Oh, wow. Well, that's okay. So there's always three sides to every story, right?
True.
There's Alpine side, there's Otmar side, and then there's the truth.
True.
And we heard in a way, Alpine side, and now we're hearing Otmar side.
Yeah, and the truth is, it's nestled in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that they like really did make the most of what they had. Again, that plucky spirit, like not Cain. Is it Cain and Abel? Is that the story with the or what am I thinking of? Where, oh God.
You have to explain what you're thinking of so I can help.
Yeah, I need a lot of help. The story where there's two brothers. One is absolutely massive. It's a Bible story. And
David and Goliath.
David and Goliath. That's it. Cain and Abel. What is Cain and Abel? What have I just said?
Is it Cain and Abel? Weren't they the sons of
Abel?
Sons of Abraham or something like that?
I'm looking at it. It's a book.
Well, it's a Bible.
Oh, no, first two sons of Adam and Eve.
Oh, Adam and Eve, there you go.
Right, okay, so I've just gotten my Bible references mixed up. Anywho,
you must repent for your sins.
But yeah, no, you can get my point in terms of like the big scary Formula One teams who have loads of money compared to little old Force India. Yeah, it's fun to see, and we won't see that often anymore because of cost cap.
We'll still see it.
We will, but we won't. You know, like the gap is so much smaller. Like I think at its peak, how much were Ferrari and Mercedes spending? Like $350 million a year, US dollars.
See, what I think, right, is the Formula One and the Formula One team should have a sponsorship partnership.
Right. Okay.
Right. Which is like Louis Vuitton have signed with Formula One. Right?
Yeah.
So they're paying Formula One. But there is no Formula One without the teams. So at least 50% of that money should be split evenly to all the teams and added to their cost cap. Because then it encourages them to build better cars, more performance, more competitive sport, wider audience, more sponsors want to come in, yada, yada, yada.
I mean, yes and no. Because, I mean, some teams will owe that money. Like, Williams have posted a loss this year of like almost $20 million because they invested a lot in their infrastructure and stuff. So they're currently losing a lot of money. Whereas I know for Ferrari, that's just going to push them further. I think that would actually push the
Formula One doesn't work with just one or two or three teams, right?
No, I know. I'll just give you an example. I can see good and bad.
And if it's added to the cost cap, right? So it's not just given to them.
Yeah.
It's added to their cost cap. You can spend it. It's still the same level playing field. Like, let's say it's like 100 million. So every team gets another, or divide that by two. Say like Formula One get 50 and the teams get 50. It's another 5 million added on. Right. So that's what I think they should do.
Excuse me. I do apologize. I mean, that could be an idea. Or maybe they use the sponsorship money to do the bloody rookie race and cover all costs. Bastards. Yeah, I'm still sick. I do apologize.
Cool.
But,
shall we move on?
Yeah, there was a couple of other bits in that interview. Go and have a listen because it was definitely interesting. I'd recommend it to pretty much any F1 fan.
Like it.
You wanted to move on. What do you want to move on to?
I wanted to move on to Fernando Alonso.
Okay. Why?
And Fernando Alonso has a theory about why these cars, why there's been no safety car.
Okay.
Like a few races. Now, it's not verbatim or whatever the term is, but basically he says
do any of my
number of reasons they don't drive the car at 100%. Saving tires, saving fuel, saving the engine, saving parts.
What for the F1 teams?
Yeah,
drivers, right?
They drive it at around 80%, right? That's where they feel like they can maximize it. If you maybe go over the 80%, you have a chance of crashing, but also saving fuel, saving tires, saving the engine, everything like that. So because they're not racing the cars at 100%, it's become more of like a procession rather than people really pushing and trying to get that fastest lap, going for that overtake, etc. That's why there's no risk to these races. So you're just getting the fastest cars at the top, and then it's a procession, and you don't need a safety car.
Yes and no. Again.
Okay. It's just his theory.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, like, shit happens. Tires can randomly blow out and stuff like that. I actually think it's in part due to the fact that, like, these are arguably the most reliable cars.
Yeah, but are they reliable because they're not driven at 100% the whole time?
But then bear with me. If let's say every single F1 team is currently running the car at 80%, right? Every single one, right? And everyone knows it. If you're Haas or Williams, crank that baby up to like 95 just for one race, see how you get on. Why are no teams doing that?
Because there's like a higher risk to the engine.
Right, okay.
You get grid penalties,
and
it's going to cost you money.
But if you're Haas and you're not really scoring points that often, or if you're Williams, if you do it for one race, so to like give you like an 80% chance of scoring points compared to a 40-50% chance of scoring points, but you take a grid penalty the next race because you have to change an MGUK, I'd argue that's fine.
Yeah, I think the
you see what I mean? Like, I get the perspective.
I think the numbers are in, like, he's just using that as an example.
Yeah.
I don't think it's 80%.
Yeah,
I think if Haas knew that, they would do it. So
I don't know. I'm just saying. But yeah. I did see that quote actually from Fernando,
which is interesting because it's somewhat true. They're not pushing as much as they
could. No, I guess not.
So bring in biofuel, bring in V10s.
Literally, yes. No penalties for screwing up your engine. None.
Yeah.
I want to
see cars go fast.
Lava. I want to see pistons fly out of the block. Like,
I want to come back my ears bleeding.
I don't want ears anymore.
That's it.
Just have them screaming. I don't care. Who cares if they have to give hearing aids to all of the mechanics after 2 races? I don't give a shit.
You don't care about anyone.
No. Give me loud car.
Cargo vroom.
Cargo vroom. Yeah, I don't know how much else we have to talk about. It's a semi-slow week with race week next week.
Yeah, there was a potential idea of all the car liveries being done in one day.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Yeah, apparently the livery reveal. Do you want to explain a little bit more about that?
So, excuse me. Next year is the 75th year of Formula One, the anniversary.
Yeah.
So one of the ideas that's gaining a bit of traction among the insiders, we don't know if it's true or not, is they want to do all the car reveals in one day. They were looking at the O2 and have like 18,000 people there. I say car reveals. We all know it's livery reveals, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think it's somewhat interesting to get it all in one day and have an event, but they always just reveal liveries, which not really going to change year to year. So
no, I think they've got to do oh God, I've just realised what they'll end up doing.
Oh no,
they'll make it like a proper show. Will.i.am will turn up and they'll have celebrities there. You know what I mean? Like, do you not remember Red Bull's like livery / launch that they had last year before?
I'm just remembering the Vegas race though.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking. Like Vegas opening ceremony, they'll just make it that, won't they? It'll be a cringe fest. It won't be anything substantial at all. They might have a couple of the drivers there, but not all of them will be there.
Nah, I think they would have every driver there for the car reveal. There's no way you're doing a car reveal without your 2 drivers. That's mad.
No, I genuinely, I don't know.
Nah, they would have every driver there, reserve as well.
If it's just, I don't know. It depends.
I mean, I'm calling it's a car reveal, right? They're launching the car. We all know that really what they're launching is a livery, right? They're not going to have the car that's going to be in testing.
No.
So they're gonna have the drivers there, and they're gonna say like, "Hey, what do you have the plans for next year?" Or the same like,
and then they'll all say, "Go fast."
Yeah. So
wow.
Let's build on a strong year last year, kind of thing. All that stuff. So. Yeah, that's one of the ideas that's going around. So,
would you like to see that, or would you prefer all of the teams to just do it individually and do whatever they need to do?
Yeah, I think do it individually because they can put their own spin on it.
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, like some people just did like photos. They just tweeted out the photos.
Yeah. Someone like look photos like
There you go.
like cost cap could be like, we could hire this expensive presenter, or we could just tweet some photos.
We could tweet some renders.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
that's essentially what happened. Yeah.
Also, isn't like most of the people that go to the car launches are media anyway?
Yeah, exactly. Although I think
I know they do invite some people and some influencers.
Yeah, last year's. Do you remember Steak did one? It was like in like a cathedral or something. I thought that was quite cool. Yeah. Like the way they did that, they invited like influencers and like creators and stuff like that, like who made sense to be there, not random celebrities. They probably did invite random celebrities, but Steak actually did a pretty good job with their car launch last year. I thought they did a good job anyway. So, shout out Steak.
Shout out Steak.
Gamble responsibly. This is not financial advice. But yeah, we don't really have anything else. I mean, it's been a semi-slow week.
It's just been like a mid-season break.
Well, I mean, like I know that it's been a weird mid-season break because I've gone on to like f1.com or whatever, and it's just all fluff pieces. Like literally all fluff pieces. It's just like, hold on, here we go. They're talking about the Alpine thing. But then, news. Dragovic is set for the FP1 in Mexico. Leclerc. It's going to be amazing for me on the impact of Hamilton joining. I had a thing which I was thinking about while I was sitting on the toilet. So I wanted to ask you
additional detail.
I wanted to ask you. The GOAT debate is hotly disputed.
I hate this debate. In all sports, I hate it.
I'm glad that, first of all, I pissed you off by telling you about my toilet ideas. Second of all, I pissed you off by talking about the GOAT debate. But I'm going to carry on anyway.
Okay.
With the GOAT debate, right? If we talked as well about Lewis Hamilton and having his number retired and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
If Lewis Hamilton next year goes to Ferrari and wins the Drivers' Championship either next year or the year after, he has 8 Drivers' Championships. He's won a Drivers' Championship for McLaren, for Mercedes, dominated with Mercedes, and then won a Drivers' Championship with Ferrari. Does that solidify his position as GOAT?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's all we have time for this week. Thank you for everyone for listening. Why doesn't it?
Why would it?
I'm just asking the question.
Nah, it doesn't.
I wondered this earlier as well. Have any drivers ever won championships for 3 or more different constructors?
I think Prost, maybe.
Should we Google that?
I think
Prost F1 championships. Let's have a look. I've got the engines here, but it doesn't say. Where's the I want the years, lad. Oh wow!
Okay, so he won it for in Formula One Williams, and then he won it for McLaren.
Did he win it? Williams, 1993, yeah, and McLaren, yeah, it's only 2.
Only 2.
Yeah, 4-time world champion. Yeah. It's just a thing. Would Lewis Hamilton be the first ever to do it for 3 constructors?
I will find out for you.
Ayrton Senna, I think he won it.
He just won it with
McLaren, and that was it, wasn't it?
Schumacher was Benetton and Ferrari.
I don't think anyone's ever done it for 3 constructors. I don't think they have anyway.
No one has.
Yeah, okay. So yeah.
Fangio did. Fangio kind of done it.
Right, hold on. Define kind of.
Well, he's done it for Mercedes.
Yeah.
And Ferrari.
Mm.
And Maserati and Alfa Romeo, but Ferrari, Maserati, and Alfa Romeo
they're all the same thing.
Yeah. Prost, McLaren, Williams, Lauda, Ferrari, McLaren, Fernando Alonso. Don't know why it's got Fernando Alonso.
That was just Renault twice. No, No, it's genuinely just curious. You know,
start with 3. He could do it.
He could. First proper. Anyway, like I said, like nothing against Fangio, but especially back then as well. Like if your car survived the race, you win. Like if you survived the race, you win. At that age, yeah. No, I was just curious because I know that. Oh God, Carlos Sainz is only the second driver to drive for Williams, Ferrari, and McLaren. The first, can you guess?
Prost?
No. Any other guesses?
How is it not Prost? I just told you it was Prost.
No, to drive for no. Oh wait, am I? Oh my God, I might be getting confused. I thought it was Nigel Mansell.
Prost is one of them.
But, hold on a minute. Where did I see this? Where did I see?
You just tell me.
Information.
There are 2 drivers who've driven for those 3 teams. I said one of them is Prost because I've literally just looked at it.
Well, then, what?
And then you were like, no. And I was like, okay, who are the 2 drivers?
Hold on a minute. For anyone still listening, Ash didn't believe me at the beginning of the podcast about it's not Otmar thing. We just have that bad trust issues with each other. What am I thinking of then?
Hold on. Start your question again. So we'll start from the beginning.
So I'm pretty sure from what I saw as well, Carlos Sainz is only the second driver to drive for McLaren, Ferrari, and Williams.
Okay. And I said it was Prost.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, it's Nigel Mansell. I don't remember.
Hold on a minute. I'm going to have to. Alan Prost. Hold on. I'm going to have to double check again.
Nigel Mansell drove for McLaren.
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
And Ferrari.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So did Alain Prost.
Where the hell? Who's giving me these?
I don't know. Where did you see it? Alain Prost. Alain Prost, right? Has raced for.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Williams. And he won the championship.
Williams and Ferrari.
Mate, what the fuck is going on?
I saw, like, genuinely, I'm not kidding you. I'll be honest with you, I also do forget about Alain Prost sometimes. But sorry, Alan. But so I saw this on Instagram on like one of the bigger like F1 Instagram pages.
Well, then you better go and fact check him.
Apparently, yeah. Hold on, F1 driver for Williams, Ferrari, and McLaren. Oh my God, no, it does say the third. Damn it, I told you I'd forget about Alain Prost.
Jesus. But the thing is, you even said it in your first question, there's 2 others. So like you even said it right, and then you just confused yourself for thinking there was only 2. And now we just gone round in a circle.
Anyway, you know what I said this podcast.
Do you work for Alpine?
You know what I said this podcast hasn't reached rock bottom. Should we end on it?
Yeah. Well, and on that
bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you very much for listening. If you haven't already, and for some reason want to take pity on us at this point, or on me anyway, be sure to like and follow the podcast and give it a cheeky old rating. Again, we should get better at asking for this at the beginning of these podcasts, but there we go. It's been an entertaining evening at the least for myself. My God, I think I am still sick. I'm gonna blame me being sick. I'm gonna play that card. But also technically, Carlos Sainz hasn't driven for Williams yet, so I'm sort of right. But thank you for everyone for listening. We will be back at some point over the next week, leading up to race day in where are we racing again? It's Texas. That was it.
Austin, Texas. Yeah, we're back in the Americas.
Yeehaw!
Let's go.